A pure friendship slowly turns into love. After achieving career success, they marry and live happily ever after. Have you ever had a friend who just gets you? Someone you can be your complete, unfiltered self with. No questions asked. For me, that person was Alex. We met in college, two ambitious kids with big dreams and even bigger anxieties about the future. We weren't looking for love. We were looking for an ally, a partner in crime to navigate the chaotic world of exams, late-night study sessions, and questionable cafeteria food. Our friendship was built on a foundation of shared dreams and mutual support. Alex wanted to build a tech startup from the ground up, and I dreamed of becoming a writer, telling stories that mattered. We were each other's biggest cheerleaders. I'd read every draft of his business plan, offering a fresh perspective, while he'd be the first to read my stories, giving me the honest, constructive feedback I desperately needed. There were countless nights spent in the university library, fueled by coffee and a shared sense of purpose. We'd talk for hours, not just about our careers, but about everything. Our fears, our families, our hopes for who we wanted to become. Looking back, I can see the little moments where the lines began to blur. It was the way he'd save me a seat, even when he was swamped. It was the way I'd bring him his favorite coffee, just because I knew he was having a tough day. Our friends used to joke about it. You two are basically an old married couple, they'd say, and we'd just laugh it off. To us, it was just ES. We were a team. The idea of romance felt like it would complicate the perfect, simple thing we had. Why risk a friendship that was already everything? After graduation, life pulled us in different directions, but it never pulled us apart. I moved to a small apartment to focus on my writing, taking on freelance gigs to pay the bills. Alex plunged headfirst into the cutthroat world of startups, working insane hours to get his company off the ground. We were both struggling, both facing rejection and self-doubt. But no matter how busy or tired we were, we always made time for our weekly call. Those calls were my lifeline. Hearing his voice, his unwavering belief in me, was often the only thing that kept me from giving up. I remember one particularly rough week. I'd received 3 rejection letters in 2 days, and I was convinced I had no talent, that I was just wasting my time. I called Alex, ready to vent, but he could hear the defeat in my voice before I even said a word. He didn't just offer empty platitudes. He said, "I'm on my way." 2 hours later, he was at my door with my favorite pizza and a goofy grin. We didn't even talk about my rejections. We just sat on my floor, ate pizza, and watched a silly movie. In that moment, surrounded by a mountain of self-doubt, his presence was a quiet, powerful reassurance. It wasn't about solving my problems. It was about not letting me face them alone. Slowly, almost without us noticing, our friendship began to deepen into something more. The "I miss you" at the end of our calls started to carry a different weight. The way we looked at each other during our rare in-person meets held a new kind of intensity. It was scary. This friendship was the most stable, most precious thing in my life. What if we tried for more and lost everything? The turning point came a few years later. Alex's startup had finally taken off. He'd secured major funding and was becoming a recognized name in his industry. I had also found my footing, having published my first novel, which, to my shock, was doing incredibly well. We had both achieved the dreams we had whispered about in that old library. To celebrate, he flew me out to his city. He took me to a fancy restaurant, the kind we used to dream of affording one day. We were sitting there, surrounded by success, but all we could talk about was the journey. We laughed about the all-nighters, the terrible coffee, the moments we almost quit. Then, in the middle of our conversation, he reached across the table and took my hand. His eyes were serious, full of an emotion I'd seen glimpses of, but had never fully acknowledged. He said, "You know, all of this, the company, the success, it's amazing. But for years, the best part of my day has been talking to you. Every win felt a little empty until I could share it with you. And every failure was bearable because I knew you were there. I've been so scared to say this because I couldn't imagine my life without you as my best friend. But I think I've been in love with you for a very long time." My heart just stopped. All the fear, all the uncertainty, it just melted away, replaced by a profound sense of clarity. It was like the final piece of a puzzle clicking into place. I realized I felt the exact same way. My success wasn't just my own, it was ours. His belief in me had been a constant source of strength. He wasn't just my biggest fan, he was my person. The foundation of our friendship hadn't been a barrier to romance. It was the perfect foundation for a lifelong partnership. From that day on, everything felt right. Dating my best friend was the most natural, effortless thing in the world. There was no awkward getting to know you phase. We already knew each other's quirks, fears, and dreams. We had already built a life of shared trust and respect. We were just adding a new, beautiful layer to it. A year later, we went back to our old university campus. We walked to the library where it all began. And there, in the quiet aisle where we'd spent so many nights planning our futures, he got down on one knee. He said he couldn't imagine a future that didn't have me in it. Not just as his friend, but as his wife. Today, we're married. Our life isn't a fairy tale. It's real. We still have arguments about silly things, and we still face challenges. But the core of our relationship remains the same. He's still the first person I call when I have good news, and he's still the one who shows up with pizza when I'm feeling down. We're still each other's biggest cheerleaders, partners in crime, and best friends. We just get to do it all as husband and wife. True love, I've learned, isn't always a dramatic love at first sight moment. Sometimes it's a slow burn. It's a quiet, steady friendship that, over time, blossoms into something extraordinary. It's finding that one person who was there for the journey, not just the destination, and realizing they were the destination all along. If you like this video, please give me a like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching!